welcome to my first layout for the month of July using these wonderful kits made up mainly of the Cocoa Vanilla Boys Rule Collection. And as you saw, I've created one mixed media based page all about one of my sons, Ben. He doesn't like his photo taken, and the only ones I get of him these days are these side-on profiles. I sneak them when he's not looking, but if I try and get a front-on photo, I get told very clearly, no, not happening, Mum. Now, I do apologise for the bit of glare, but I'm not actually filming and recording this at home, as I'm away for a scrapbooking weekend with my two friends, Cherie and Nerily, and I'm doing this while we're away, so it's a little bit different, but I'm adaptive. Anyway, I've cut out all the bits where you see I trimmed down, and I cut out the middle of the background paper. I'm trying to conserve as much pattern paper as I can, and here I'm matting because I'm pretty sure most of you know what to do with all that. And I tried to make the video as short as possible. And I decided to use some of the crayons in the mixed media kit, and this was the little stencil. And first I thought, oh, I'll just rub a few crayons through and blend it with my finger. I've chosen one blue and one green, and as you can see I'm smudging it through, but I didn't really like the effect. So I thought, well, what about if I try doing it with a baby wipe? So after fiddling around and getting it back on the exact same spot, I used the baby wipe to smudge the crayon around, and because it reacts to water and the moisture in the baby wipe, it's melted a little bit, become watercolour slightly, but blended really nicely. I liked that effect, so I kept going, repeating on a diagonal line from, well, on a diagonal the opposite to what I would normally do. After I pull it off here, I look and think, oh, that gap in the middle there's just a little bit too big, so I go back in and add just a little smidge, just a few little green, blue, and then I blend it in together. And I'm doing my tried and true method where I have a nice border around the outside and a white cardstock, which is basil marshmallow, so it can take a bit of that extra mixed media action. I took one of the crayons here, smudged it onto a stamping block, and used some water to activate it to make some splatters, but it was too fine. Then I thought, oh, I'll just paint some on and see what happens, whether I like it or not. Interestingly enough, it didn't really react with the crayon that was blended through the stencil. I thought it might have, but it didn't really. And you can see I'm just painting it on random places, checking with my photo to see how much of it I can see, and then I'm quite happy with it. So I stuck down the photo, and as you can see I'm using my double-sided tape method, sticking that on together, and I'm going to start building. I went through both of the packets of one of the chipboard and one of the die cuts, and I pulled out pieces that I thought I would use. Now that little tiny brown bit there says something about it's time to be awesome, and I thought, well, the big chipboard word awesome could actually cover up the printed word on the little tag, and it was perfect. Now what you can see I'm doing here is, out of the awesome or some of the center pieces, I punched them out, and they're the perfect height for that piece of chipboard to lay against the photo. So I glued them onto the back of that chipboard, and it fits perfectly against the photo. Kind of a shaggy man there, and well, Ben can be quite shaggy. He much prefers not to shave, so he's got quite a hairy little beard for an almost 18-year-old. Here I'm building a bottom cluster. I've pulled out those label stickers from the exclusive pack that's in the main kit, and a few more of the little chipboard pieces, and I've stuck them down. Here I've pulled out a few more pieces just to build on that side of the photo. This little circle with a love heart in it finally finds a resting spot down there. Now, what you may have noticed, I put that chipboard piece at the top of the photo because I got some of the crayon onto the photo. It was stuck on my fingers and transferred to the photo, and so I wanted to cover it up. Often, you'll see I place things to cover up little mistakes or errors, and just makes a good spot for an embellishment. These were in the chipboard packet and I'm just spreading them around, and once again you can see there I smudged a bit of the green so that cross gets placed perfectly there to cover it up. Another little label sticker. Wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it at that point, but I just wanted something extra on that little bit of brown just to keep building the layers. And after gluing these down, I was like, what else can I add? And I pulled out the puffy stickers that come in the main kit, and I found that little one that says love. Perfect, and a few little black hearts, just so that way I've got 3 of those puffy stickers, or thickers, and now I'm adding some enamel dots to finish off. Oh, I know, I tell a lie. I go into the clear sticker pack and I pull out some words as well to add, and I start building underneath that word awesome there. And just a few little words also dotted around. And then a bit of journaling, and it's finished. Date here on this little label sticker. I make a little mistake in the journaling. I don't know if you're like it as well, but sometimes my pen just doesn't move as fast as my brain, and so I put the wrong letter, which is what I did here. But I cover it up by adding another little enamel dot. And that's it. Hope you like my first layout for the month of July. See you next week. Don't forget to pop on over to the Kitaholic Kits website. Bye for now.